Falaise, France, winter of 1386. The cold wind cut through the air, carrying dark clouds that blanketed the sky. The village square, usually bustling with market activity, was eerily quiet today. A grand event was unfolding, one that captured the attention of the entire town. A bizarre trial had been called, and the accused was an unusual creature, a pig. It all began weeks earlier, when the villagers were horrified by the death of a young child. The 3-year-old, a poor farmer's child, was found in a pool of blood after playing outside one morning. The child's body was torn apart, skin ripped, blood staining the ground. The killer wasn't a human, but a pig. But why a pig? Rumors began to spread throughout the village. This wasn't the pig's first strange act. It had attacked other animals in the pen, and it stared eerily at the village children. But this time, there was no denying it. The pig had killed the innocent child. Local authorities, despite their careful investigation, could not find a reasonable explanation for the pig's behavior. Was it the act of a mad animal, or just an accident? Either way, the villagers couldn't ignore the eerie tales they had heard for generations. Some believed animals could be possessed by evil spirits or demons, causing them to lose control. Thus, the death of the child could not be taken lightly. When the news reached local officials, a public trial was quickly arranged. In medieval times, the law made no distinction between humans and animals in serious criminal cases. If an animal caused a human death, it would be treated as a criminal and punished accordingly. So, the pig was charged with murder and brought to trial as a criminal. On the day of the trial, the atmosphere in the village was heavy. The townspeople gathered in large numbers, not only out of curiosity, but because they believed this trial would bring justice for the child's death. The trial took place in the town hall, its towering walls witnessing countless human crimes. The defendant was led out from its pen, its legs bound and its snout covered. The pig was large, with filthy gray fur and confused eyes. It had no understanding of what was happening, but the villagers gazed at it with hatred, as if it were a monster that had killed the innocent child. The prosecutor stood up, his face stern and cold. The defendant, a pig, committed a heinous act by killing a child. This is an unforgivable crime. Its presence in the community has caused fear, and it cannot be allowed to live. It must be punished according to the laws of God. The defense lawyer, a portly man in a dark cloak, stood and hastily argued that the pig was innocent, unable to understand its actions. But under the cold gaze of the court, his words seemed meaningless. He tried to argue that the pig might have been ill or possessed by a demon, but nothing he said could change the outcome. The trial ended in tension, and the verdict was given immediately: death by execution. The pig would die not only for the crime it had committed, but because it was seen as a symbol of chaos and danger that the villagers could no longer endure. On the day of the execution, the sky turned dark, with clouds swirling above, as if sharing the town's sorrow. The pig was dragged to the gallows, its body trembling, eyes wide but uncomprehending. The crowd gathered around, waiting not just for the death of the animal, but for revenge against the fears that had plagued them. In the silence, a rope was tightened around the pig's neck, and when the judge's hammer fell, the pig was executed on the spot. When the pig died, a sigh of relief echoed from the crowd. They felt lighter, as though a burden had been lifted, but also filled with fear. Was executing an animal like a human really justice? Or was it just the end of a strange story that the villagers of Falaise could never fully understand?